Just start the show that way.
There you go. That's an idea.
That's what I'm in the mood for. Let's see. Let's start here. Let's go to Mike. Mike, you're on the air in Dexter. Oh, Mike.
Hey,
we hear from Mike like every day. Yeah, Mike.
Yeah, I appreciate you. I appreciate it, man. I enjoy talking to you. Hey, what's the deal with Leno, man? You were 100%
Oh,
right.
my God.
100% right. I don't know how long you predicted it would take, but it didn't take fucking long at all.
It was a bombshell this weekend.
Well, it shouldn't surprise anyone. First of all, the guy who's getting, screwed the worst is Conan O'Brien. It said on the front page of the paper today, the New York Post and the Daily News, it says, walk show, furious Conan ready to quit NBC in Leno mess. Now, first of all, I said to you from the beginning, I couldn't believe that NBC, whoever these executives are that make these kind of decisions, which is a big decision, why they would take a guy who's number one at 11:30 and move him to 10 at night, and then bring Conan in, who had trouble beating that Craig Ferguson guy. What are you thinking? Like, why, if Conan can't beat Craig Ferguson, why would he be able to beat Dave Letterman? And why would you want to switch, like play it out till it's fried? And then,
and what is they said that Conan was going to leave.
They were afraid he'd leave.
What are you losing?
Yeah. Well, I think Conan had one great thing going for him. Everyone figured he's the next guy. And who knows, if he came on at 11:30 against Jay, he could take Jay's entire audience. He had that going for him. It was this idea that maybe he could take Jay's entire audience. The problem with it is he can't, because we saw what happened when he was on 11:30. He's got one card to play.
Which is?
They're saying that he's now threatening he's going to leave NBC. If he leaves NBC, I think legally he's entitled to some big payout, because he would be losing The Tonight Show.
He was guaranteed The Tonight Show, and if he didn't get The Tonight Show, they owe him something like $45 million.
Right. So if I was him, I'd leave. But he's saying now he's threatening to walk out and go to another network. Now, if I'm another network, I don't know, they're saying Fox might be interested, but really are they?
Well, even Leno was saying that Fox was interested in him.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what salary, and I don't know really. Conan is damaged goods. The only card he can play right now is to say, look, the reason I did poorly on The Tonight Show is I had a bad lead-in. I had Jay Leno at 10 o'clock. The network as a result, the local news stations all tanked.
Right.
And my lead-in was minuscule. That's the one card he can play, but I don't think anyone's going to buy it.
Well, I don't know how he plays. Well, yeah, I guess he does. Yeah. But, the person who's sitting the prettiest is Jay Leno.
Well, yeah, I mean, it looks like not really in my mind, because he went on at 10 o'clock and failed. Now he's a failure. I think he'll do fine at 11:30.
Yeah, but you got NBC still wanting to keep him locked up like there's something they could lose if he leaves. There's
something they could lose, which is the franchise of The Tonight Show, because, quite frankly, Conan doesn't seem to be able to beat Letterman. And if Conan can't... and it's not even about...
But that's what I'm saying. That puts Leno in a good position.
Yeah, well, he's... So now they've come up with what they call a compromise. They're going to put Jay on from 11:35 to 12:05. And don't ask me why it's 11:35. I think it has something to do with the local news. And
that's a sweep thing, yeah.
They make a couple extra bucks jamming in a couple extra commercials from 11 to 11:35. They give that to the affiliates. So at 11:35, he'd come on and do that stupid monologue and then leave. And then Conan would come on from midnight to 1. From 1 to 2 would be Jimmy Fallon. And they're saying they don't know what to do with Carson Daly.
Because he's running into the Today Show at this point.
Yeah, that basically they'd find something for him to do. Maybe get coffee or something. In the words of...
Have you ever seen his show before, Howard, Carson Daly?
No.
I saw it once in the beginning.
Did you?
When he was still fat.
Yeah, it was a really loose show where it was almost like he didn't really give a fuck, and he knew he was on at like 2 o'clock in the morning, and it was a really disorganized type of show, and he was like, oh, we'll get it together one of these days, but I don't think he ever will.
Was it good?
I don't know. It was 2 o'clock in the morning, man. I mean, how can you gauge something that's on at 2 in the morning?
Well, what do you mean? How do you watch it and you decide whether you like it or not? Did you like it?
I would prefer to watch Carson Daly over Jay Leno, quite honestly. And what good is it going to do to put a half-hour show on? And are they going to call it The Tonight Show, or is The Tonight Show going to start at 12:05?
No, The Tonight Show is going to start at 12:05. It'll be called The Jay Leno Show at 11:35. This is the way they're floating it. But here's the deal. I think Conan is humiliated. But what does he expect? But why is Conan? If I was Conan, I'd be thrilled to be on at midnight to 1. Take all the pressure off.
They're saving him. I mean, they would really have to boot him.
Right. I mean, and he's carrying on. He's upset. He doesn't believe how NBC's treating him. The fucking guy doesn't have a rating. What does he think happened?
He lost their huge audience. They were #1.
Yeah, you don't get a free pass in network television where if you don't get ratings. Let me tell you something. You think I'd have a career if I didn't have ratings? Ratings are your ticket to being treated well, and when you don't have them, they don't want to know you.
Nobody's in love with you as a human being or a person.
He should be angry because those guys moved him from 12:30 to 11:30 and proved him to be not that strong a ratings earner.
Well, he would have to be angry for them for listening to him.
Right.
He was the one who was making the big stink.
Conan pushed to take over The Tonight Show. These assholes at NBC bought into it. And now he's mad because they did.
Because they did.
Because they're not getting any ratings. Conan's not getting ratings. It's history.
Maybe his one thing is, look, you set me up because of the Jay Leno thing. You didn't give me the clear shot that you gave everybody else.
Well,
exactly. That's the thing.
They gave him a clear enough shot.
He should have made an audience.
Listen, it reminds me of, when we left terrestrial radio. And several folks tried to take over. They didn't make it.
But not only that.
A lot of them will complain.
But not only that, Howard, wherever you went, you didn't go to some ratings juggernaut.
Right.
And then just sort of fit in.
Right.
You built an audience wherever you went. It didn't matter what the terrain was. You brought people.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I didn't sit and worry about what my lead-in was.
Yeah. You didn't care that the night guy didn't have any ratings.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, we went on shitball stations. we didn't like. Imagine if we went on like a station that had an audience.
Oh God,
would have been insane. But who'd want to do that anyway? That's what I said to you also about Conan O'Brien. Why would you want to go on the Tonight Show that's successful, where you can only go down? Probably you're probably not going to go up. I mean, if you can't beat Craig Ferguson, use your fucking head and stay on at 12:30.
Yeah, you wait until Jay Leno's limping.
Right.
Then you come in and you're a savior.
Same with Dave. He was screaming he wants to be on 11:30. Who cares, 11:30? Just pay me, man. I'd rather be the guy they keep thinking is going to be the big
Well,
thing.
the only thing with David Letterman was never chomping at the bit to be 11:30. He wanted to be the successor to Johnny Carson. And Johnny could have stayed there forever. Letterman would never have been trying to push him out, which Jay did, and that whole thing.
So I don't know what's going to happen, but do you really think Conan is going to get a lot of money from Fox to move over there? I don't.
Well, why would Jay Leno take a half-hour show?
He does whatever they want.
But that's crazy.
He's not taking a half-hour show. The half-hour show was announced so Conan will leave. Conan's going to be like all upset.
Oh, I see.
I'm losing my time slot. Fuck you.
Because why would Jay...
Go ahead, Robin.
Why would Jay let them cut him to a half-hour? He's the guy who owned Late Night.
Because he'll have the whole hour back. Conan's not going to put up for it. Conan should go, oh, sure, I'll do whatever you guys want. I have no ratings.
And then see what they do, because Letterman really, Jay wants the whole Tonight Show back.
Bobo, you're on the air.
Hey, how you doing there, Howard?
Hey.
NBC Branch should approach you from the start as a consultant. You saw right through this, that this wouldn't work at prime time.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of people saw right through it.
Yeah, it seems the only people who couldn't see was NBC.
Yeah.
I mean...
One executive was saying he wishes he had the year to play this out because it will eventually take hold.
Oh my God.
I say keep going.
Stick with that line.
I like that Conan thinks like in TV, like it's like communism. Like if you don't earn the ratings, you're still entitled to own the Tonight Show franchise. It doesn't work that way.
I think maybe what he's thinking was while he, sort of had that terrain to himself and all these years, he was making them a lot of money. Mm-hmm. And that somehow they owe him because of that.
But Howard,
let me tell you something. With his ratings at 12:30, they could have taken anybody and given him a show, and they would have done just fine.
Well, it sort of seems that way because Craig Ferguson came along, and
he's doing
was
better.
Not a problem. Yeah,
he beat Conan.
Took some of his audience.
I don't understand. In radio, if you're losing, they don't even talk to you. In television, if you're getting beat by Craig Ferguson, they give you the Tonight Show.
Well, you know, it's a whole different world over there. Again, I've always said that the problem with radio is they don't value talent. Television values talent a little too much.
Right. They value everyone.
Yeah, they don't care whether you make ratings or not. You're a valuable asset.
Jimmy Fallon's playing it smart. He's just going, hey, I'll do whatever you got. You want to put me on at 1:30? Go ahead.
I'm just having fun here.
Yeah. I love that.
Bottom line, you have good insight of what will work and what will fail, whether it be radio or television. I mean, it's a talent that you have. You were born with it. You just can't go out and learn this stuff.
All right, Bobo. Thank you.
And one more thing. Listen, you know, Jay stooped so low as to drag Dave down and into the mix by making reference to his recent sex scandal.
Oh, stop it. Okay, Bobo, thanks. How could he not make reference to it? He'd look like an idiot if he didn't. Yeah. Dave, I was thinking, should just kiss Tiger Woods' feet.
Absolutely, because Tiger erased him from the headlines.
Pittsburgh Pete, you're on the air.
What's up, Howard?
Hey.
Okay, this is not trying to get you riled up or anything, but I feel like Artie kind of fooled you again with this attempted suicide.
What do you mean?
I just feel like this whole thing is an excuse to take a lot of time off work. That's what he really needs.
Yeah, I came pretty close to committing suicide this weekend because I said, you know, I'm kind of beat. Maybe
you'll try something and get a little rest.
I could use a few months. No, believe me, this is the real deal with Artie. I mean, you know,
It's the real deal, but isn't he 0 for 2 in suicide attempts now in life?
Well, come on. Thank God
I'm not making light of it.
No, but thank God he lived. I mean, this was not the kind of thing that... It's a miracle the guy's alive. And the only thing I attribute that to is his unbelievable strong constitution. I mean...
And somebody finding him in time. Well, there was not like he was looking to be found.
I mean, how he survived this is beyond me.
Some people have theories, though, with suicide. If you really want to do it, you'll do it.
Well, that's true. Some people have said that to me. Like, if you really want to go, you'll go. But... I mean, my poor Artie, I think he really wanted to check out. And
yeah, if you've set it up so that nobody's going to be around. It was an accident that his mother was coming by.
Yeah. Fortunately for me, as a mother that's completely there all the time.
Yeah. Constantly
feeding him and doing everything for him. And she found him.
And you're pretty sure that that's all accurate because of what?
Oh, my God.
What do you mean?
I mean, how you seem to know a little bit more on Monday morning this week.
No, I don't know anything more than you do, really. Whatever was in the newspaper was pretty accurate, from what I know. And I don't know much else. To tell you the truth, no one has contacted me about anything. In fact, I said to Gary, how can I call Artie? And
nobody knows how to do that.
Nobody seems to know how to do that either, so...
Do you think this will be in his second book?
Yeah. I mean, if I was writing a second book, I guess it sure would. I guess that would be the whole book.
And if he comes back to the show, is this going to be something he claims as an off-air drama where he was still contributing?
Oh, my.
I don't know about that.
Nobody's thought that far into the future.
Although it is a contribution, I don't like that kind of contribution.
So where is this going to lead, Howard? What are you thinking about now? You have some time to think about this.
Where's what going to lead?
I mean, if this goes on for a week...
T-shirts.
Where are you headed now?
Where am I headed?
Are you going to bring some people in? Do you want to...
Listen, I'm headed the same place I've always been headed. I wake up, I come to work.
Yeah.
What am I going to do?
Last
this is
week, people say it was great radio all week long. They loved it.
Good. Well, listen, I told you. I do the show every single day. Whoever else shows up, it's up to them. Now, Artie is ill. He has he's going through a terrible thing. I mean, I can't think of anything lower than what he's going through. It's got to be the worst. To be that sad, to be that depressed, and go and try to hurt yourself like this and end it all. It's really he's at the pits. He's at the bottom. He's in great despair. I sit next to the guy every day. Robin sits across from me. I sit next to the guy every day. I didn't know he was in that kind of despair. I knew he had problems. I knew he was into the drugs and all that.
Well, that's what this tells you, that he wasn't ever letting on.
No, I mean, he was in great despair.
How desperate he was.
The holidays do that to people.
Well, I think this has been going on longer than the holidays, but you're right. This was time off.
It amplified it.
It amplified it, maybe. I don't know. That's something he's got to figure out, and he's got a lot. Listen.
This is all speculation.
Why? Listen, one thing I know about Artie, he's got to get help. And he's been hesitant to do it. And I hope this is his rock bottom, where if anything good comes out of this, that he gets the kind of help he needs.
Rock bottom, this is weird. This is wacko stuff.
Well, look, you're right. This is something a lot of people don't understand. It's an illness. He's in great despair. And, you know, looking from the outside, you sit and go, he's got everything to live for. He's got great... You know, there's a thing on the Internet, on YouTube, somebody sent me, that someone put together, I guess, a long time ago. And it's to the song Hurt. It's the Johnny Cash version. And it's Artie... It's really very sad to watch. I watched it 3 times this week.
Watched it? What is it?
It's video from our TV show with the song Hurt, which, of course, was written by Trent Reznor.
Right.
But they did the Johnny Cash version. And it's stuff about Artie. It's different pictures of Artie. And there's so many disturbing images, because when Artie was, at the time that he was going out with Dana, they take clips of him from when we did the Newlywed Game.
Yeah.
And Artie looks thin and handsome and happy and smiling and kissing and just connected. And then they flash back and forth between, you know, Artie in recent weeks.
Oh.
And it is so startling to see Artie deteriorate.
We saw him every day, and we didn't look back at those images.
This is insulting towards his new girlfriend. That he would do.
Oh, please,
stop it.
Pete, you're out of your mind.
You're just reading into everything.
Pete, it's just awful what's happened. It's if I tell you, I woke up about 10 times this week in the middle of the night, and Beth goes, "What's going on?" I go, she thought it was the cat, the new cat. That was.
She was worried it was the new cat.
Yeah, right. But I woke up in the middle of the night, and I would think about Artie, and I would think about what he did and what he did to himself, and it just blows my mind. It's just too hard for me to comprehend, because, you know...
Well, how could you comprehend?
Yeah, you don't know somebody's demons. You don't know what's going on inside someone. And
have you ever had a moment, Howard, where you came close to hurting yourself physically, where you lost control of being a human and you just went into a weird state?
Not like that. I mean, you're talking a whole different thing that I understand. I don't understand that, and I don't know what Artie needs, and I don't know what kind of help he needs. I don't know anything about any of this. You know, I just do the show, and I enjoy working with Artie, and always have a great time on the air with him.
You know what? Medical experts wouldn't know.
Right. That's right. They wouldn't. This is an area of the human mind that just, you know, we don't know much about.
I mean, Robin went through hell, and I don't think she even came that close to doing something like this. This is a major...
I only had, like, thoughts of it and would plan it out, but I just never got... And I accepted help. I actually, you know, threw myself... I lost that pride that says, you know, you're the only one who can figure this out, and I put myself in someone else's hands.
And that's where the blame comes in, where people will blame Artie in the long run if he recovers and he's healthy. They're gonna say, how could you do that? You know, how could the people care about you, etc.
Well, I'm not one of those people that blames, because if this is an illness, which it is, I believe, then, you know, it's not like sometimes you're so far gone, it's not like you're thinking, I want a road back, I just want a road out. And, you know, it's not even like he's in control. Like, it's easy for you to sit there and go...
Yeah, those thoughts don't occur to you. You're not ignoring other people. You just can't
I can relate to Artie.
He's saying, why bother? He goes, I don't see it. I don't see what the point in all this is. That's what he's saying. And he might be forced to go get help or something.
What's the point of what? Of life?
Yeah.
Right, that's what he's saying.
So I
don't know what he's saying.
Weak, where he has no conscious...
See, again, it's not a weakness. I think that's a very...
I'm sorry, but it is weakness.
Well, it is a weakness, but the fact is that he can't control it.
Well, a weakness in the sense that he has a sickness.
Right.
No, that he takes life for granted, that he would...
Yeah, but come on, Pete. You know that that's a rational person speaking.
I'm saying that Artie was in such pain he couldn't bear life.
I've been in pain. Howard's been in pain. Robin's been in pain.
Yeah, well, he handles it differently than you. You're stronger, I guess, Pete.
No.
I don't know.
Is he?
Maybe.
How strong is he? He smokes pot a lot.
Well, come on.
Well, that's his
way anyway, I'm not here to analyze Artie. I wish him well. I hope he's doing okay. And I feel for his mother because she's got to sit there and see her son deteriorate like this. That's not easy for a parent. Believe me, that's not easy. And this is no picnic, and it's nothing really to be picked apart, discussed, and dissected. It really isn't.
Well, that's the whole statement. Life isn't for cowards.
Right.
It's a tough, you're going to meet some things along the road that you never expected, and, it's how you cope with them that determines, the way you go.
But, Pete, for us to sit here and try and analyze Artie, for you to sit there and try to analyze it, you're judging him, and it's
you haven't walked in his shoes.
We don't even know what's going on.
Walked in his shoes.
No, you haven't. Not his. You can say that you have your issues and your pain and whatever. You haven't.
He lost his father. That was devastating. He was somebody who admired and loved his father more than even other sons that have fathers.
Well, Pete, I don't know how to respond other than to say I'm hoping that Artie gets better, and if you're a better man, then you're lucky.
I'm a better man.
Well, whatever you're saying, I'm not sure what you're saying, but whatever you're saying, I have trouble going along with it because I don't want to dissect what was in Artie's head.
How much sympathy should we really have for Artie?
That's up to you.
Look,
you should have as much sympathy as you can have.
And I say to myself, he doesn't have to be embarrassed about anything. He's living his life as best as he can, just the way you are.
Who, Pete or Artie?
Both of them.
Oh, okay. But how, I can't tell you how to react to this, Pete. I just know how I'm reacting.
It doesn't even matter how you react, Pete. You go ahead and have your reaction.
I spent time with Artie.
I know you have.
And a lot happened that I would never even say on the air.
Oh, wow.
Right. Fair enough.
You two were lovers?
Then I'll leave you on that, Howard.
You guys didn't blow each other, did you?
If he wants to talk to you about it, he can do that.
All right, Pete, thanks.
Bye.
Oh, my goodness. Leave us with that, will you?
Yeah, Yucko.
Hey, is Pete still there?
No, I hung up on him.
Oh, fuck that fucking motherfucker. He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. He's just fucking being a fucking jerk-off like half the other people on SFN and every other place that don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Yeah.
Artie's
done so much for everybody, and I'm one of those fucking people, and this is just fucking awful, and...
It is. It's nothing that we should sit here and pick apart and try and analyze Artie.
Right, especially at this stage. We have no idea what's going on.
And you know what?
Yeah.
Even like in the paper, I was reading, like one guy was going, I was surprised. Perez Hilton put up a thing where he goes, Howard or Sirius fired Artie, which wasn't the case. They didn't fire him. And I just said the guy is in such a state to put up anything that could set him off and cause him to harm himself again is really not a good idea, unless you really know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and, I even feel guilty for, all this stupid shit I said on the roast, but, you just didn't see it coming.
Nah, you can't feel guilty about that, Yucko,
ridiculous.
Because, none of us could see this type of thing come. I mean, in a way, I have to say I always knew that this was probably going to end badly because I knew Artie was in deep trouble and he wasn't getting any help. But, what I would do is from time to time I'd check in with him. I'd say, how you doing? And I'd say, listen, are you going to see this psychiatrist? Are you going to go see this doctor that, I recommended? Are you getting some help? Oh, yeah, I'm getting help. I'm going 3 days a week thinking of increasing it to 5. It turned out it was all not true, but... I don't know.
But you know what? You actually turned to him one day I think it was after the book, somewhere between the book and now, and you said, are you okay? Are you at a point where you're thinking of doing something? And he's, no, I want to live. I remembered that so clearly.
And I remember... Artie every minute was talking about, he wanted to make sure his liver was okay. Yeah. He was always going to the doctor. I'm worried about my liver. I'm worried about this. I go, he didn't sound like somebody who didn't want to live. I mean, yeah, his actions were killing himself, but in some strange way, he wanted to live.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I can name so many things he's done for me. Like, I was going through the divorce and everything. He would call me. And, he didn't have to do stuff like that. And especially when my parents' house burned down, he did a free show. And, hundreds and hundreds of people showed up for it. And he's just,
Yeah, listen, he's a very generous guy. He's a good-hearted guy. And the only thing that we can do as a group is to wish him well and hope that he gets some help. He's a good man. You know, aside from being very talented, he's just a good guy. And I feel for him. And I feel more for his mother. Because she's got to be suffering. Well, I mean,
you got to feel for everybody in that situation because all of them, you know, are in great pain. I can't imagine the kind of pain it takes to do what he did. So. Oh,
man.
All right,
I mean, you know what? I get a paper cut and I'm screaming.
That's what I said to somebody. I said, I hate, you know, any kind of breaking of my skin.
Yeah. Hangnail. All right, Yucko, thanks.
All right, thanks.
Hey, Bob.
Howard.
Bob's in Comac. Hey, Bob.
Hey, Howard. How are you today?
All right.
Hey, I called a couple of times before. I got to tell you, I'm a recovering heroin addict, 13 years clean. That first year, man, let me tell you, it's the worst. I tried killing myself, and I got everything to live for. I got a beautiful family, great kids. I mean, the whole 9 yards. And that first year, I went through 5 years of psychology to try and just get my mind straight. And I can totally relate where Artie is at right now. And it has nothing to do with nobody else but Artie.
All right. Thanks, Bob. King of All Blacks, you're on the air.
Yeah, it's funny how when people call up and they go, Artie did this for me and did this for me. But they never talk about what they did for him.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, everybody always measures, like, how good somebody is for what they did for them. Huh? Nobody never did anything for him.
Well, it's just, but what Yucko was trying to say is that he was trying to describe how good a guy Artie is, and that he was upset with what Pete was saying. You understand? He's trying to demonstrate what kind of guy Artie was.
Yeah, but do you actually, I'm not trying to analyze him, I'm not no psychiatrist or nothing, but...
You're kidding.
Someone told me you were.
I think I am like a street kind of psychiatrist, because I don't understand somebody, I hate to put it with money, but I don't understand people that, like, can, like, have money and like, family and like me. Like, how could you ever think about doing some shit like that?
All right, well, he did. He's different than you. He's different than you.
In what way? He's young.
All right. King, this is silly.
He's not a deep thinker.
I know. I mean, I just don't understand why people, are they angry at their self or their life? I don't get it.
Well, you are trying to analyze him.
Right.
Because, I mean...
Well, there is anger. There is anger in this. You know, I knew... I was telling someone the other day...
Go ahead.
Well, I was telling someone the other day that I knew a guy. I didn't know the guy. My parents had friends who had a son who they told me years ago he walked in and put a knife through his own heart.
Ooh.
Right in front of the family, in front of the parents and everyone. And everyone said he killed himself right in front of them. And he said, well, that's an angry act. It was like, not only did he end it all, but he did it right in front of them as if to say, you know, fuck you. Here we go.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, I've my entire life, I've heard that story, and I try to understand it. Like, what was he angry at? And you know what? You don't know. You don't know, but there is a lot of anger in that kind of stuff. Of course it's angry.
Well, when I was younger, I used to threaten my mother and tell her I was going to hang myself at the front door.
Right.
So every time she walked in the house, she'd have to remember what she did to me. Now, she didn't understand what she was doing to me, but I considered it like she was intentionally doing this stuff to hurt me.
Yeah, I mean, there's anger in all of this.
But why would you even say that to your mother? Like,
well, actually, and I don't mean to upset Robin, but that's the height of narcissism, you know.
What?
I'm going to kill myself, and I'm going to, and you're going to feel bad you're going to feel bad and think about me all the time. I'll even hurt narcissism is very disturbing in the sense that I'm going to hurt myself to hurt you, and you'll never, ever, ever forget me. It's a way of staying connected forever.
Well, do you know why I never did? I told some people this the other day. I said I would imagine what it would be like once I was gone, and it was never bad enough. That was the absolute truth.
You were afraid to be too happy.
They wouldn't be hurt enough.
All right, King, thank you.
Are you scared of dying, Howard? Like,
yes, I don't want to die.
Eat well and all that stuff.
I don't want to die. Listen, first of all, I eat well and take care of myself because I want to have a good quality of life. In other words...
You don't even want to have a bad, long life.
Well,
you want to have a good, long life.
I've seen guys my age who look like they're 300 years old and they can't even walk and they're overweight.
Already breaking down.
Yeah, they're really old people. They look like great-grandmothers, and fathers. People who are, in their 50s. They look terrible. So I want to feel good and look the best I can, but also I do, and there's so many things I wake up in the day and I'm so excited to do. There's a lot of drudgery too. There are things I don't want to face, but there are things that I enjoy so much that makes me kind of get up and go, okay, we're going to start another day.
That's how I feel.
Yeah, so of course I
love it, man. I love it. You know what I'm saying? I love it.
Like I like waking up in the morning and seeing the newspapers there and reading about Conan O'Brien losing his show. I like all of that. I'm a big yenta.
Well, yeah, the Tiger Woods stuff has been thrilling.
I love it.
The David Letterman stuff was exciting.
I like...
there's even this new stuff coming out about the White House. And, Harry Reid saying all those racist things.
By the way, I didn't think that was that racist.
But if a Republican, they made a perfect point. If a Republican had said it, the Democrats would have called it racist.
Right, absolutely.
So it must be racist.
Nah, that's a racist thing, but
what Robin is talking about is... As long as you bring it up. There's a guy named Harry Reid, and he's a Democrat. He's the House... What is he? The House Majority something or whatever.
What? No, that's
Speaker.
Nancy Pelosi.
He's a speaker.
She's the speaker.
He's some big deal.
Yeah.
And Senator...
Democratic
Majority Leader. Thank you. Senate Majority Leader, I should say. Not Democratic Majority, Senate Majority Leader. So anyway, the guy, made a statement that if Obama, and I'm just kind of generalizing here, I'm not the exact quote, but he basically said that Obama couldn't have been elected if he spoke like a street black guy and if he was dark-skinned.
Well, the quote was, he could get elected because he's light-skinned and he only talks like a black street guy when he wants to.
Right.
Yeah, that's
like Oprah.
Like Oprah, yeah.
And I don't know about
he has a superpower, a secret identity.
I don't know about the light-skin comment. That's completely whacked out and racist, but it's all racist. It's all based on race. But Obama speaks well. That's the only truth in his statement. It's not that he could speak like a black guy. He speaks like an intelligent man. That's why he got elected. Of course, he's an intellect. He's smart. He handled himself well in debates. He had good ideas. That's how come he won. But, the guy who is the representative for the Republican Party, this black guy, I don't know his name.
Oh, I forget. Steele.
Yeah. He went on TV the other day. I was watching him, and he said something about something, and he goes, honest Injun. And so they got him for being racist, and he goes, I apologize, I didn't know. Now he's criticizing Harry Reid for being racist, and he's going on TV saying honest Injun, and everyone's so goddamn racist and race-concerned anyway. Why don't we all just get honest and say people are concerned with race?
Yeah.
They notice race. Here's the definition of a racist. When you walk into a room, you notice people's race.
That's not necessarily the case.
Oh, I was going to add to it. And you are influenced how you feel about them because of their race.
That's a preconceived notion of what that color means.
Right.
And you don't look at the person as an individual. You categorize them by their race.
Exactly.
Well, Howard, if I'm walking down the street and I see dark-skinned black guys walking towards me, I feel a little nervous than if they were light-skinned. I can't explain it, but that's how I feel.
Well, I know when I see, if I'm walking alone in the street, I see anybody walking, I get nervous. I've seen women walking and I get nervous, but I'm a neurotic. But I'll tell you this. This issue of race is so prevalent. I'm reading an article today by Stanley Crouch, he says...
Oh, he's Uncle Tom.
Well,
here we go.
He says he can't stand the term African-American. He goes, listen, I'm an American. I'm not from Africa. I got nothing to do with Africa. I mean,
well, I've said it was a ridiculous term from the very beginning. What do you call an African who becomes an American?
And he wants to go back to the word Negro. He said, I never disliked the word Negro.
Well, I don't like that word either.
He likes it. Listen to this.
That's what got Harry Reid in trouble, though, Howard. He said, he didn't say Obama talks black. He said, Obama can use a Negro dialect when he wants to. So I think when Harry Reid brought in the word Negro, that gets everybody all freaked out.
Everybody crazy. And Stanley Crouch is saying,
he wants to go back to Negro.
He said black doesn't describe, he says, first of all, within the realm of black, there's light-skinned blacks, there's light tan.
So then we should go to colored.
He says Negro. Or he says he prefers colored because he goes, that's what we are. We're not all black. I personally like chocolate people. Because everyone likes chocolate.
How about Niggo?
What?
Niggo.
Niggo?
Niggo and Negro.
That's a good one, too. If you like it, then go with it. But listen, the way this all got started is everyone was called Negro. And when black nationalism came to the forefront, Martin Luther King used to say Negro. Everyone was comfortable with Negro. And then a man named Malcolm X came along, and he made black nationalism very popular in this country. And he tapped into an angry black feeling. He said, listen, no more Negro. Now we're black. And people at first, black people, were like, are you crazy?
Black was like the worst smear you could give a black person at that time. You never wanted to be called a black nigger.
Right. We don't want to be black. We don't want to be black. And then somehow it turned, and then we don't want to be Negroes. So no one knows what to do. Now, Stanley Crouch's point is that Negro
Then I think it was Jesse Jackson who came up with this African-American thing.
That's what Stanley Crouch said.
And I was like, we're not African.
Jesse Jackson came up with African-American, and Stanley Crouch says, I'm not African.
We've never been African. I don't know anything about Africa. You could take me there today, I would be as lost as anyone.
Trust me, you don't want to know anything about Africa. Africans are trying to get out of Africa.
The first person on earth was a black woman, so you really shouldn't feel like that.
No. My point is, I was born here. To call me African-American is to say I'm not an American.
Right. So that's what Stanley Crouch says.
Well, what do you like?
I like black. I just get with it. You know, all white people aren't the same shade either.
I think Stanley made me like a Negro now all of a sudden.
Oh, stop it.
No, don't listen to him. He's Uncle Tom.
Is he?
Why do you carry on about he's an Uncle Tom?
When black men go bald, they turn into Uncle Tom.
Oh, you're so silly.
Every black man that got that bald thing at the top, they always act like, I don't know, they always act like they want to be white.
See, again, if you're an intellectual, you're obviously wanting to be white.
Right, that's it.
Like Steele, like that guy. I like him, but, he tries to act like he's white. The white people don't like that motherfucker.
Hey, King, some people want to talk to you. Here, let's talk. Rob wants to talk to King of All Blacks.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey.
Two things. One, I just really am so sorry about Artie. And first and foremost right now, I'm so sick to death of King of All Chocolate people here. It's always, Howard, what do you think? Howard, what do you think? Every other word out of his mouth is, Howard, what do you think?
I'm calling him King of All Chocolate. I never asked Howard what does he think because I already know what he thinks. Now I'm just asking
King, you all the time.
Yeah, because I'm asking for you. I already know what he thinks, you fucking asshole.
All right, Heather, you're on. Wanted to say hi to King of All Blacks. Go ahead, Heather. Yes, Heather. No, Heather? Scared of you. Scared of the black man.
Scared him away?
Scared of the real black man.
The
real man.
The nigga, the king nigga. I love it. I like nigga. That's what I like. I don't like Negro, black, color. I'm going to be honest with you. I like nigga. What up, nigga? I love it.
All right, Heather, thank you. Heather's not there. All right, King, thank you very much.
I love you, Howard.
All right, love you too. Bye-bye.
Hey, when you get a new car, I'll tell you what to get.
Okay.
All right? I swear, I'll tell you what to get. It's crazy.
Yeah, I got to go see my man Wayne Siegel. Ashley passed her
driver's test?
Driver's test. She's hitting the road.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, I can't believe it.
That's your last one?
That's my youngest daughter.
Your baby's driving.
She got her license. Yeah. A lot of changes. A lot of changes at the Stern household.
You must be an adult. You got all that going on.
Yeah, I got a lot going on. Yeah. I got you know, my kids are growing up.
Yeah, you have an empty nest at this point.
Yeah. I mean, they're getting to the point where some dude should take over the financial obligation,
yeah, really.
Right? Yeah. Waiting for that. Someone to step in. Make an honest woman out of them.
Wow.
Can I tell you? But, actually, I'm the one who's told my daughters, when you're in your 20s, you don't get married.
Yeah, but they're all going to... She's going to be off to college not too long after this.
Ashley, yeah.
Yeah.
The other two are out of college.
No wonder you got a cat. You got an empty nest.
Yeah, I got a cat all right.
What happened with the cat?
Having an issue getting him on the phone, so it could be up at any minute or not.
Well, that's the problem. Like, then I start something else, and then he's there. And here's what I heard. I'll tell you the whole Gary Coleman story. First of all, like Gary pointed out to me, Dateline did a piece. Talk about that Dateline piece on Gary Coleman.
They talked about just how much money he generated for NBC in the heyday, that there was a #1 show, that it was the money maker. And then they found out he was sick and he had to have dialysis and he needed time off. And nobody wanted to give him time off, including his mother and his father, because he was like the cash cow. So he made a ridiculous amount of money. Will said it was something like $70 million.
Right.
So I'm watching Dateline. Stone Phillips doing the whole thing. The money's all gone.
Right.
So they track, like, some money went here, and some lawyer took this, and some, business guy took that. But it got down to the part, and I can't remember what the amount was, but it was, I don't know if it was $4 million or $5 million. It was put in a fund that was untouchable by anybody. It could not be touched by anybody. It was Gary Coleman's for when he turned 21. It was the last of the money that was left, and it was like a pittance compared to what it was. So Stone Phillips uncovers these documents, and it turns out that his mother and his father went to a judge and somehow got the judge to open the account to them. So when he presents the parents, he tells the parents, why did you do that? They go, we didn't do that. That's a lie. That's Gary's lies. Stone Phillips pulls out the documents. He goes, isn't this your signatures? And they're like, well, we needed that money. And it turned out that they used it to buy a strip mall in Vegas that went under. And that was the last of Gary Coleman's money.
Wow.
Should I feel bad for the kid and everything? He's not a kid anymore. He's an adult. But,
I mean, and when you think, not only was he a kid, but he was a sick kid, and he made all that money for them, and they wasted every dime of it.
But then there was an article in the paper how he's in this movie called Midgets and Mascots, and that they used his penis in the movie without his consent, like a Sharon Stone kind of thing. Like where
he didn't know they were going to film his penis, even though he was naked.
So I told Gary, get him on the phone, because I want to speak to him about how do you get your penis on film and then be upset when it's seen. And then some guy wrote me a note, and he says, look, I don't want to get in trouble, so don't use my name or anything, but he goes, it's all a publicity stunt. They go, they filmed the movie. It was a fake rubber penis. And
so it's not even his penis.
Yeah.
Well, I think he was calling in today to tell everyone to go to the website so we could crash it, because he's so mad at them. That was going to be the big...
oh, there's Gary. Hey, Gary.
Yes.
How you doing, man?
Hey, I'm all right. How you doing?
All right. We were just talking about you, and I said, I really do feel for you, because our own Gary Delabate, was talking about that Dateline piece they did years ago on you where, rightly so, this kid was Gary Coleman was the #1, when he was a little kid, he was the #1 network draw. Right, Gary?
I guess.
And he made about $70 million. And then Gary used to go around as an adult screaming, hey, my parents took all my money, and everyone was kind of like, hey, Gary Coleman's crazy. But meanwhile, he wasn't crazy. Dateline did a piece.
Well, he should have had some money.
He should have had some money. And, in fact, Gary, I guess the last $5 million you had to your name was put in a special place where the judge said it would absolutely be protected for when you turned 18. And then somehow your parents wrangled that $5 million and spent it on a strip mall, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Are you talking to your parents at all?
Oh, God, no.
Yeah, huh? You've had it with them.
Oh, God, yeah. I'm 41 years old.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. I mean, there's been all your money's gone.
How do you reconcile that?
You don't. You just keep working.
And you were so broke at some point that I think you sold your underwear on eBay, right?
Well, I didn't. I didn't sell it. Jimmy Kimmel offered to buy it.
I see.
Yeah.
Did he buy it?
Oh, yeah, he bought it. It's hanging up in his studio.
And also that whole situation with that woman you married. Are you still married?
Oh, yeah, I'm still married.
Yeah, but your wife's been, like, not giving you sex and all that.
No, he hasn't been offering.
No.
Well, it's not that. It's just, you know, we're very private people. We just do what we do.
Oh, that's right. You don't have sex with your wife. That's right. I forgot about that.
It's not her. It's him. She's been begging for sex.
Why, Gary? How come you don't? I forget the story. Why don't you have sex with the wife?
Oh, I have sex with my wife, I think.
Intercourse?
I hope I do.
Intercourse?
Well, I hope so.
I thought
but there was a court, you know, you were on one of those TV court shows, I thought, and she said you wouldn't have sex with her.
That's not true.
I don't know.
And then, I don't know, and I remember you were going to get divorced, and I don't know, and then you...
Oh, no, we're not getting divorced. It's marriage counseling.
Do you live with her still?
Of course.
Oh, you do? Okay. So that's happy.
And you two aren't fighting anymore, because there was that kind of, they had like a public fight, remember?
She used to say you threw temper tantrums like a 5-year-old, and you stomp the floor and you start throwing stuff around and all that. And I just thought, well, you know, what kind of wife is that?
Hey, who doesn't?
No.
Who doesn't?
So the marriage is good?
Oh, the marriage is fine.
Well, I don't know. It just made me sad when I thought about all the money that was kind of taken from him. I mean, you know, when you're a kid and
you're sick and you're working, you don't even want to work sometimes, and, you know, like you have to because everything
happens. And it happened.
All right, tell me your side of this story with the movie you're in. You're in a movie called Midgets and Mascots.
Midgets versus Mascots. Now, what happened is I did not sign a nudity rider. And I went and saw the producers last week to tell them to take this nude scene out that they snuck in on me. And they won't do it. So how do they sneak in a nude scene on you? In other words, I broke up a fight between two of the midgets, and the director rushed the camera in real quick on me, and I don't appreciate that very much.
So it's a reality movie? In other words, you broke up a fight and they stuck it in, or it was part of a scene?
No, I broke up a fight.
And why were you naked when they were fighting?
It was not part of the movie.
Why were you naked when you're
breaking up a fight?
I had a robe on, but my robe parted a little bit.
And they see your penis?
Apparently, they claim they see my penis, but I still want them to take it out. But instead of that, I'm going to see a lawyer now, and I want your fans to go to the Midgets versus Mascots website and protest.
All right, now, Gary, some guy wrote me an anonymous letter. I don't mean to burst your bubble, but he said to me this is all a PR stunt, that in fact this penis is a prosthetic penis that hangs down past your knee, and that you're really not upset with the movie producers, that this is an attempt to drum up publicity. Now, I've always known you to be an honest guy. Are you perpetrating a hoax here, or are you being straight with me?
Oh, I'm being completely straight with you.
No,
I don't know what this idiot's telling you, but you know, if somebody sneaks a camera in on me, and I don't like it, and they're trying to shoot parts of my body that I don't want them shooting, I'm going to get really upset about it.
Why would you want to promote the movie, then, if you're upset with them?
And ask them to go to their website.
Movie. I want your fans to protest. I want them to go to the website, Midgets versus Mascots, and protest and get any nudity of me taken out of the movie.
But why would going on the website be a protest?
Yeah, like you're directing. In other words, it does smell like a PR stuff. Go to Midgets and Mascots website. I mean, if you were really upset with them, why would you give them any? It's like your parents. You don't talk to your parents. If you're mad at the producers of Midgets and Mascots, why would you talk to them? Why would you give them traffic to their website? It does smell like a PR stunt, if you want my opinion.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. It's certainly not that.
All right.
Yeah, I could understand if you had your own website. Yeah. But, I mean, even a website, how does that make them stop doing something?
Well, because my next step is I'm going to get an attorney. And I just don't appreciate what's been done on this.
All right, Gary. Well, I will tell my fans to go to the website Midgets versus Mascots.
What is this movie about, anyway?
Hey, Howard, when we go to the website, should we look at it or not?
That's completely up to you.
Do you want us to see the movie?
No, don't see the movie. Don't go to FYI. Don't do any of that crazy stuff. Just protest for me, would you?
All right. Well, there you go. He says, don't go see the movie. This is Gary Coleman's new movie, and he's saying, don't go see it. Please don't see it, and go to the website. What is the website again you want us to go to?
MidgetsVersusMascots.com.
All right. And go there and protest and say that we don't want to see your penis.
Is there a site for the protest? I mean, how do you protest on the website?
When I'm on the website, how do I protest?
I don't know. I just want you to protest.
Okay.
Hey, by the way, if we want to buy your underwear, Gary, how much is that?
$500.
Oh, you got to see Jimmy Kimmel about that one.
You're not selling any more?
No, oh, God, no.
It's over. Let's see. Well, anyway, listen, how's your kidneys? Are you doing all right?
Oh, I'm doing just fine.
Your health's okay?
Oh, yeah.
All right. He's a good guy, Gary Coleman.
Yeah.
I thought it was maybe a publicity stunt, Robin, but I don't know.
I don't know. I can't tell. The jury's still out. I don't know. I mean, he hasn't gotten a lawyer yet. But, I mean, you're thinking the protest will just make them take the scene out of the movie?
I'm hoping so. If not...
Gary, it doesn't sound like a good plan if you really want to know my thoughts on it.
If they see all that traffic to their website, they're going to think, hey, this was a good idea.
Yeah.
Nah, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. And don't worry about nothing.
All right.
All right. And are you still doing security work or no?
No, not at all.
No, none of that.
No.
Good.
All right, Gary. Listen, best of luck, and we'll all go to midgetsversusmascots.com.
All right, thank you.
You got it. All right. Gary Coleman, everybody. Thank you, Gary. That is one cockamamie phone call. I don't know, man.
Oh, my goodness.
I don't know what he's up to. Fascinating guy.
I guess he's promoting his movie.
That's
I don't know.
So you're going to go to the website, Robin, and do what?
I'm going to try to protest, but I don't know what I'll find when I get there.
Wow.
Because I'd hate for Gary to have to get a lawyer.
That was pretty bizarre, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He did sue somebody at one point. He sued...
Well, he sued his parents.
Well, yeah, he sued his parents, but he also sued the Broadway musical Avenue Q.
Why did he sue them?
Oh, he never followed through, but he threatened to sue them because he was parodied in the play.
Oh.
He didn't like his presentation.
I see.
Yeah.
I mean, this could be a bad thing.
I did say on the air, this is funny, this made it onto the air, but I did say how I thought it was kind of low of whoever the person was that called Page 6 and reported on Artie's. I knew it was going to happen. I knew the Artie story was going to come out. You know, you just figure someone's going to squeal. But this is weird. I mentioned on the air that whoever did that to Artie is a maggot. And then someone picked it up on the CW 11.
Howard Stern expressed his anger at the New York Post for printing a story about his sidekick, Artie.
I wasn't angry with the Post.
No, you didn't malign the Post.
It's funny how these guys get stuff wrong. I didn't malign the Post. I didn't say I was mad at the Post. I understand that's what the Post does when they learn of news.
You said the person who had insider information and gave it.
Yeah. And by the way, I know who the maggot is.
You do?
Oh, yeah. This is wild. You know, the news came out on TMZ. Now, this is just weird. The maggot who called TMZ. This is just so bizarre. Gary gets an email. Whoever the guy was used Gary's email address as a fake address.
Really?
When he wrote to TMZ.
Gave his name as Jane Doe.
Right.
And you have to put in an email address. Like, you can say what the story is. You have to give an email address. And he gave my email address.
Wow.
Right. So when TMZ wrote him back, they included the body of his letter. You know how when you reply?
And so that came to Gary.
So, yeah, it came to Gary. I have it. I know who the rat was.
Wow.
And the guy really should be fired because he has a very professional job. You know, you always wonder who these people who rat stuff out.
So this isn't just some, like...
Oh, no. No, so I know the name of the guy.
And the rat, I know, is listening now. You could just tell the rat knows the show very well.
Yeah, and by the way, I'm not going to give your name up. I don't know why not. I should, but that's so not cool, dude. But we know who you are.
Well, the other thing is, it's like, when I looked at it, you don't even get paid for it.
No.
Like, what's the joy of reporting that news?
He even gave details they didn't even put in the paper that I didn't even know.
TMZ actually didn't report most of what he said.
Right.
Wow.
And this guy has a trusted job that really is supposed to have confidentiality attached to it. And I don't know, man. It's pretty low.
Maybe, I don't know. I don't know what the job is. Does he sometimes need these people to do things for him?
Well, I'll let you read it and you decide.
All right.
But he even gave them the name which he was registered under and everything.
Wow.
Yeah.
So he just gave up everything. Gave him access.
Gave it all up. And TMZ accidentally sent us the info.
But they sent it to the email address he gave them.
Right. Yeah, because the guy wrote, hey, do you have a phone number that I can reach you at? This is the guy from TMZ. He's at the assignment desk. And he writes back, but meanwhile, they sent it to Gary.
Right. So, I mean...
They gave up their own source.
He was never thinking that they would get back to him.
Right. Ew, what a shitty business that is. I am so glad I'm not in that business. I would not want to work the assignment desk at TMZ or Page 6 or any of those things, and then a call comes in that a guy tried to kill himself, and then you're hungry to get that on.
Right.
I don't know.
It's your job to get that story out there as fast as possible.
Yeah, that'd be a tough assignment, man. No wonder they call it the assignment desk. That's a tough assignment. Did I finish playing the CW11 clip? I guess it doesn't matter. Who cares?
No, we didn't. You stopped it when they said...
Lange's suicide attempt. Stern said on his radio show he's angry with, quote, the worm who leaked the details for money. Page 6 claims Lange's mother found him covered in blood on Saturday after he stabbed himself 9 times. Lange, who's had a history of drug abuse, is still in the hospital.
Yeah, but quite frankly... I mean, I know these stories get out there. Quite frankly, I was shocked that the story didn't get out there sooner.
Well, yeah, we had a few days where it wasn't out there, and that was a big surprise.
And I was saying to Beth, I think this thing might fly under the radar.
Yeah, I was hoping.
Yeah. But...
And it was just when you thought that it came out.
There's other news, too, and I guess I'm going to thank this guy in some weird way. Do you know that? Have you heard of the BCS streaker?
I saw.
Oh, you saw it?
That.
You were watching the football game?
I didn't see it on the game, but I saw it later.
Big championship game happened between University of Texas and Alabama, as most people know. Guy goes running out into the field, masked man with big, like kind of heavy-set guy.
He definitely didn't have the body for that outfit.
He had on, like, bikini panties and a tight gold shirt with a cape. And on his ass was written Howard Stern, the Howard Stern logo. His entire backside.
Right. His whole back end was covered.
And then I guess on his the back of his shirt was advertising a website or something.
Right.
Which was what he was associated with.
But I don't know how we got the Howard Stern mention as the other part.
Yeah.
Do we know that guy?
Well, I guess he's a fan. I don't know who he is. What's his name, do they say? Many fans caught a glimpse of what happened to be a BCS streaker on Thursday night, but it was some kind of twisted superfan wearing a skin-tight yellow outfit and black underwear. Early in the third quarter, a masked intruder scampered across the field for a few moments before sliding around Alabama's 5-yard line. He advertised some porno website on the back of his shirt, and a Howard Stern logo covered his backside. Thankfully, security
That's called advertising.
That's right.
Thankfully, what do you think makes a bigger impact? That, or when they run that commercial from Sirius with me, with Elvis and Michael Jordan?
Well, that's a really good commercial.
That is a good commercial.
And so I have to say that commercial has a bigger impact.
I worry about that commercial doing the right thing, though, because some guy said to me, called me up, and he goes, I don't know if you know this. This is somebody I know. But they were showing a commercial praising you. He thought it was a commercial for just, like, excellence. He wanted to get me a copy of the commercial. He didn't know. I go, it's for Sirius. Of course I know they're doing the commercial.
I know. A couple of people have said that to me, too. And I don't think they mention Sirius to me. They just say, I saw this commercial the other day talking about how great Howard is.
Well, that's why, I mean, if anyone knows anything about TV advertising, which, don't forget, I went to college for this. And I learned...
You're an expert.
I'm an expert, so you can ask me anything you want. But I learned that with TV advertising, someone's got to see an image, at least 50 times before it registers. Like, there's a couple of commercials I like. I have no idea what they're for.
I say that all the time. If I really like a commercial... Do I know what the product is for?
Like, I'll give you an example.
What's the commercial, or what's the product?
Like, we're hyper-focused on the Sirius commercial, so of course we know what it's about.
Right.
But there's a commercial on TV now. I don't even necessarily like it, but it catches my attention every time. And they have Charlie Daniels playing the violin, or whatever he plays, the fiddle.
Saw that last night.
Okay. I've seen it 100 times. At least 100 times. I cannot tell you what it's for.
I know what it's for.
I'm trying to think. Wait a minute. I want to see if I can remember, because I just saw it last evening, and then he throws down the violin to some other guy, and he walks away, and I don't know what the product is.
What is it, Fred?
It's for Geico, and I agree with you. It's like, I'm going, what does this have to do with insurance?
It has nothing to do with it, but my point is that in order to know what a commercial is for, the average viewer needs to see it like 100 times. That's why.
I will never know that's for Geico.
Right. But you would eventually, like I'm getting curious enough now. If Fred hadn't told me, I would have said, this time I'm paying attention.
Well, I was just about to say, Geico should never go away from the gecko. Because that's perfect. I always know that the gecko is Geico.
Well, Geico always has this weird advertising mentality, too. They don't seem to stick with one plan. They go from, like, the voiceover guy and Joan Rivers.
Yeah, because they get sick of the
midget,
commercial.
And then they do the gecko, and then they do the Charlie Daniels thing. It's like they're all over the place.
Well, they get sick of the commercial, but we haven't even been exposed to it.
Do you watch the commercials? Is it Sirius?
Are they still running the Sirius commercial or not?
Yes, they're still running. I think it's going to run right through football, right through playoffs.
That's good.
Have you seen the series of commercials with the Vikings doing everyday chores?
No.
Has anybody seen that?
Yes, I have.
It's a bunch of Vikings. They're, getting haircuts.
Oh, yes, I have.
Do you know what it's for? Howard, they're on TV day and night.
It's a bank.
See, and you don't even know the bank, so that's my point.
They're on day and night. It's a series of them. I hate them, by the way.
Capital One?
Good, Robin. See, I guess it did get through to her.
All right. Well, it got through on some level.
But that's because they've been doing that for a long time.
That's why we got to thank this guy, because let's cut through the bullshit. This guy's streaking and sticking the Howard Stern logo on his ass. I think that that's called product placement.
That's free.
It's free advertising. So very nice. I don't encourage this kind of thing. It is against the law. But if you're going to do it, thank you for doing that for me. And I don't know the guy's name. I'd certainly give him a big kiss on the...
On the tuchus.
On the tuchus. Now listen to this. Cell phones may protect brain from Alzheimer's.
Oh, my God. How are they doing that?
Let's see. In a study put out by BlackBerry and iPhone...
Of course it's BlackBerry
I'm joking. No, it isn't. I'm joking. But it does suggest... Remember when cigarette companies used to put out... they said, we did scientific research, and it turns out you're not going to believe this. Smoking actually cures cancer.
Smoking is good for your health.
It's healthy for you. There's no signs that it could actually hurt you. But this says a study in mice suggested using cell phones may help prevent some of the brain-wasting effects of Alzheimer's.
How often do mice use phones?
After long-term exposure to electromagnetic waves, such as those used in cell phones, mice genetically altered to develop Alzheimer's performed as well on memory and thinking skill tests as healthy mice. So they're claiming that dementia can be prevented by keeping
There's so many holes in that study.
Yeah, well...
First of all, they altered the mice so that they could get Alzheimer's. How did they know that worked?
I don't know. I don't know who... Let's see. Who did this? I swear that I know the phone companies must have paid for this.
They had to. Somebody funded this study.
Yeah. Who else would fund a study like that? I don't know. Why do we have a picture of a big fat guy in his underpants? Let me see.
And maybe that's the fat guy with your name on his butt.
No. Oh, I know what it is. He's a gay guy who wants to do anything for the show, to be on the show.
Oh, what does that mean?
I don't know, but he wants to do any kind of gay stunt to get on this show. And he even says, you know, I'll do anything. He goes, and I know it's no big deal to do. I'm sure people write you all the time looking for a way to get on the Howard Stern Show, but please hear me out and read this, because mine is unique. My best friend is flying me to the East Coast Sunday, March 14th. I'm desperately trying to find a way to meet Howard Stern and the crew. I'm 24, I'm gay. I come from a strict Catholic family. 380 pounds, fat boy, willing to do anything the show can dish out to get me on. And I mean anything, from a gay stunt to getting pepper sprayed. You name it, I'll do it. I've heard people get shot down in the show before. They're already gay. I don't know what the fuck. But I've heard people get shot down on the show before because they're already gay, so having them do a gay stunt on the show isn't funny. However, I disagree. Yes, I'm gay, and my family knows it, but that's all they know. I live a private life, and I feel doing a gay stunt would be just as bad for me as a straight guy. Oh, yeah, sure. One suggestion I had is, since I'm a fat boy, my stomach hangs way over my pants. I once had a chubby chaser ask me if he could lube up underneath my stomach and fuck it and blow a load in there. To which I said no. But I think that would be very funny to do on your show. I wonder if Sal and Richard would fuck this guy's stomach and blow a load in there.
Get in here, boys. There's a request.
It's my lifelong dream to be able to meet Howard and the crew, although I'm extremely shy. It doesn't sound like a shy guy to me.
No, not at all.
I'm willing to suck it up for the show. I've attached a recent picture of me. And then he gives his picture. Guy wants to come down here and do some gay stuff. There he is.
Wow, he is.
It's a big boy.
A big boy.
That's a big gay boy. Here he is dressed up like a woman. It's funny because they said to the guys, anybody got anything they want to do with this? And the only guy who replied to me was Sal, and he had like 50 gay ideas for it.
Really? Yeah. What are his ideas?
Oh, my God. I should have printed those out. He had like an endless list of thoughts about what this guy could do. But I don't have it right now.
Nobody's coming in, so
nobody cares.
They are right now.
That's right. Let's go to George. George, you're on the air.
Hey, how you doing, Howard?
Hey, now.
Hey, just in case you hang up on me, leave me on hold, man. I'm not able to listen to your show, but on hold only. Hey,
all right, what can I do for you, George?
John Letterman, doing good. Leno, I don't even know why they're bringing him back.
Bringing him back because he can beat Letterman.
But why? He's just too old already. Have him give it up.
Well, that's ridiculous. I mean, NBC is after getting their franchise back and getting the ratings back at night, so they're going to bring him back. It says on the front page of the Post today that Conan is angry about this and livid. We got to read this article.
I love that they said they're, like NBC has proposed this thing, and apparently they've been in negotiation for some time, and they've given each of the performers the weekend to think about it, and then they'll come back to the table today.
If I'm Conan, what's to think about it? You better take whatever they offer. Conan's not laughing. He's walking. The Tonight Show host is sick of the way NBC is treating him as it prepares to move Jay Leno back into the 11:35 time slot and is ready to take his act somewhere else. First of all, where's he going to take his act? The guy
who wants those dismal ratings?
That's what I'm saying. I mean, whatever Fox has on at night, I'm sure is less dismal.
Oh, yeah.
Number two, if I was Conan, I'd say, gee, thanks. I just fucked up at 11:30, and you guys are willing to give me a show back.
And if he goes to Fox, then he would be starting at 11 o'clock. Maybe he's thinking, what I need is a jump on everybody else.
And Fox is putting on 11, they're putting The Simpsons back on. That's high ratings over here in California.
Yeah, I'm sure The Simpsons do very well.
Let's see, where's the rest of this article? The peacock ruffled Conan O'Brien's feathers, and now he's ready to fly the coop. Yeah, that's a good time to fly the coop, when you're least needed. Why would Conan fly the coop now?
Obviously, he wasn't thinking straight when he asked to have the Tonight Show.
Yeah. If I was Conan, I would have said to myself, wait a second. I'm on at 12:30. I'm not beating the guy on Channel 2. What's his name?
Craig Ferguson.
I'm not beating Craig Ferguson, who has a foreign accent.
He's not even American.
He's not even American. Like, he doesn't even know what Americans think is funny. And he is beating me. Why would I want to go do the Tonight Show and lose? What if I lose all of Leno's... I mean, that's how I would think. I'd say, listen, I'm assessing my own abilities here. I'm being realistic.
They're happy with me. They want to keep me. They think they've got something here.
I heard they were paying him like $10 million a year to do the 12:30 slot.
Yeah, something like that.
Give me $10 million and let me just coast at 12:30 at night. Not really, it doesn't even matter what I do. And I'm a happy camper. Who wants the pressure of taking over the Tonight Show? Am I crazy? Unless I know I'm that good.
What? Again, why do you want to piss off Jay Leno? He's the #1 guy.
Yeah. It doesn't make any sense. The Tonight Show host feels like the red-headed stepchild of late-night TV after NBC's abrupt decision to cancel Jay Leno's show at 10 o'clock after just 5 months and return the car-loving comic to O'Brien coveted 11:35 p.m. slot. This level of shittiness was not expected, one source said. He's done a great job for NBC. He moved his entire staff. He moved his family to L.A., and 5 months later they repay him like this? Repay him like this? This source must be a high on acid.
He moved. That was the big sacrifice he made?
Dude, the fact that they're willing to keep him. Most people, if they go on for 5 months and their show tanks in the ratings, they're out.
Yeah.
Period. You're done.
They're actually talking to you and trying to make some concessions.
I was longer than Chevy Chase's show.
That's right. As it stands now, the source said Conan would be happier somewhere else. Well, you know what?
Where's that somewhere else? Home?
The pompadoured host has many options, including a move to Fox, which for years has been looking to create its own late-night show. Well, go ahead. Hire the guy.
Yeah. Take your chances.
Do it. Well, maybe that'll be interesting. Maybe Conan can take away some ratings from Leno, but I don't think so. I don't know. It doesn't seem to be going that way.
I just think if they put anybody on at that time, they'll do the same thing. Just people watching what's on.
NBC yesterday said Leno's 10 p.m. talk show would end on February 11th with the start of the Winter Olympics. Network chairman Jeff Gaspin confirmed that he was pushing a new late-night arrangement. Leno at 11:35, hosting a half-hour show. Conan at 12:05, hosting the 1 hour The Tonight Show. Jimmy Fallon's late night would then be pushed back to the remarkably late or super early hour of 1:05 in the morning.
Now, you're claiming that they just did this to make Conan go away and that they're going to give Leno the hour. Because I'm thinking if Leno's only on for a half hour, he needs half the staff.
Yeah. Well, it needs half to, but what they're going to do is they're going to embarrass Conan into leaving. Because Conan's got too much pride. Yeah, but I was just
thinking, John got a writer's job, and if he's only on for a half hour.
No, Jay's got to keep John because Jay feels guilty because he took John from this place. And so, like, that's Jay.
He's got job security.
John's like, like every company.
Tenured.
Yeah, they take a retarded guy in and you take him under your wing and you give him a job. That's John. My goal is to keep Jay, Conan, and Jimmy as our late-night lineup, Gaspin said. He characterized the plan as a compromise that gives Leno what he wants, his old time slot back, and lets Conan keep the title of The Tonight Show. The only reason letting Conan keep the Tonight Show title is he contractually owns it for 5 years.
Right. They'd have to pay him.
Some moron gave that away, too.
Look, some Looney Tune was in charge of all of this.
Yeah. I hope and expect that before the Winter Olympics begins, we'll have everything set, Gaspin said. I can't imagine we won't have everything set by then. If I was Conan, I'd leap at this opportunity.
Is there a chance that they could lose both of them?
No. Leno is like a retarded, loyal dog who will stay. I mean, Jay's the guy who goes, I'm making a lot of money for the network, but I want less money. I don't want to be paid a lot of money. What fucking human being on the planet wants to be paid less money? I mean, there's just something wrong with the guy.
And that still doesn't endear him to them.
No, they fired him anyway. They say, okay, asshole, you know what? You're not worth that much. We don't have to pay you that much.
Right.
Jay Leno is a fucking moron. He is. He's an asshole.
I know that.
That he actually said something about NBC in his monologue, finally, is amazing.
Well, he said he wouldn't mind moving over to Channel 11. They'll take care of him over there.
Good, then move. Conan O'Brien's rep, ran out the door and said, I'm going to go work for Jay. No. Conan O'Brien's rep, Leslie Dart, last night said that only that Conan has made no decisions yet. Conan's not operating, according to one insider, on their timetable. He's not going to be stampeded. This came out of the blue. Is he kidding? It really came out of the blue? The guy's fucking tanking.
Has he not looked at the newspapers, seen his ratings?
He's a great guy. I like Conan a lot. And I like doing his show.
He could have been shocked.
Yeah, I mean, I like doing his show, but don't be shocked. I mean, dude, it doesn't, you know what it was? He was at that 12:30 slot doing terribly.
Nobody cared about ratings.
Yeah, and he was like, well, why all of a sudden do you guys care about ratings? Come on.
I've always done this poorly.
Yeah, I always did shitty. I had infomercials beating me. He did. And then, like, all of a sudden he's in shock. He goes, well, wait a second. That's not how things work around here.
The Kaboom guy was beating him.
Who?
Billy Mays.
Billy Mays was.
The Kaboom
The
guy.
Kaboom man. Kaboom guy.
Shammy.
ShamWow. What was it? ShamWow.
ShamWow.
Yeah. ShamWow. Well, that's pretty amazing. ShamWow.
He also did OxyClean.
The real-life soap opera involving NBC's late-night personalities has been comic gold for others in the business. NBC's Saturday Night Live poked fun at the Suits and 30 Rock during Seth Meyers' Weekend Update segment. It was reported Thursday that in the wake of poor ratings for the Jay Leno show, NBC will move his show back to 11:35 p.m. time slot and then start Conan O'Brien Tonight Show at midnight, though it's a little weird to start the Tonight Show at a time when it's no longer tonight, Myers said. Well, that's true.
That's right. It's the morning show.
Yeah, how could it be the Tonight Show when it's no longer tonight?
At midnight, which is at 12:05, which is the next day.
It's a pretty good thought. Like that.
Well, I thought it was funny that they were just going to push him back and let him keep the name. That's crazy, too.
Yeah, I like that they gave Conan the rights to the name. So retarded.
Well,
it's like the biggest, you know, this is the biggest, dumbest mistake in television history.
How do you give a guy the rights to the name, your franchise name? I mean, when you don't even know how he's going to do. Wouldn't it be contingent upon his success?
Peacock executives have been fighting. And poor Conan, I mean, the guy had like this whole image of like, wow, if Conan ever got on in prime time, he'd be a monster. I don't know how he got that image, but he somehow had it. Well,
NBC acted like that was the case.
Yeah, they bought into it. They were like, we can't lose this guy.
We got to get rid of the #1 guy because we can't lose the guy behind him.
Right, because if he ever came on against Jay, that would be curtains. Thank God NBC kept Leno around. They got a go-to guy. Imagine if Leno had gone to Fox.
Well, they had said that they did not want to lose him under any circumstances, so I guess somebody was thinking a little bit.
Some of the guys who are experts on, imagine being an expert in TV. I mean, aren't we all experts in TV?
Well, John Hines, we have our own TV expert.
Well, a lot of the TV experts are saying that Jay Leno comes out smelling like a rose in this because, you know, no, he doesn't. He fucking failed. Now he's got the smell, the stink of failure on him.
Yeah, I don't see. The only way this is good for him is in the halls of NBC.
Yeah.
Outside of that, he was a failure. Well, what does this mean to Letterman at this point?
Letterman's trying to patch up the shit with his wife.
He's not even reading the paper.
I think
he doesn't know this is going on.
Letterman's in a whole nother battle. He's a battle to see his kid full-time as opposed to part-time. Letterman's in a whole nother trip.
He's in a battle to see if he can go home.
Well, I think it sucks for Letterman. I think he was kind of enjoying although it was sort of a half-assed win, like, you know, he was beating Conan, he wasn't beating the guy he wants to be, which is Jay Leno. Well, I'll say it again. I'm the only asshole who said it all along. Oh, Dave made a lot of fair-weather friends real quick when Jay left, and now all of a sudden everyone's a Dave fan. But I'm a Dave fan, and Jay can go fuck himself. And the only show I would do is Letterman. Suck my dick, Jay.
And I hate how the news out here be his trademark jaywalking. I'd be like, fuck that.
Yeah, his trademark jaywalking. He's coming back to late night. Yeah, I should sue that motherfucker.
And how about TMZ? They doing that Jew game?
Oh, yeah, I saw that. Well, they did credit, at least. I mean, they said Howard invented Guess Who's the Jew. Are we going back to Guess Who's the Jew? Are you preparing that, Fred?
I am preparing one. So maybe I'll have one for you this week.
All right, excellent. Yeah, I was like, wow, we better go claim our bits back. Everybody's doing them.
Are you sure you want to?
Yeah, I like Guess Who's the Jew. I always did.
All right.
Peacock executives have been fighting a losing two-front war since giving O'Brien the Tonight Show job. Not only has Leno's 10 p.m. show been weak, but CBS's Late Show with David Letterman has consistently beaten O'Brien. I can't believe that Conan would really be shocked that he's losing his job. I mean, you lost for 5 months. It's a pretty fair indication the audience isn't warming up to you.
Maybe he's shocked at the moves that NBC is making.
Well,
he never dreamed.
Come on.
He thought he'd probably be fired.
Wasn't he tanking
early
on in his first incarnation as the 12:30 host, and then they gave him time and gave him time?
But he always... anyone who went up against Conan didn't do well. I mean, Conan didn't do well.
So maybe he figured that
that's why I couldn't figure out why they did this in the first place. So it's like, you're banking everything on Conan.
He's like a distance runner. He's good in the long run.
Somehow he convinced them that I'm not doing well at this hour, but you put me on earlier, I'll kill.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. Usually, if you see a guy, he's on at 12:30 at night, and he's getting like a 10 share, and he's beating everyone's pants off, you go, all right, we're going to replace him. We're going to replace Jay. This guy's the hot new thing. But Conan wasn't even the hot new thing. Show was rather depressing. With the drummer sitting there. Everybody looked up. He'd rather be on the road with Bruce Springsteen. Everybody looked like they wanted to be.
He's always taken off when there's a gig around.
I mean, how much fun could it be if the guy's always leaving to go run off with Bruce Springsteen? Especially when Bruce can barely decide if he wants you in his band or not. The second Bruce calls, he's out on the fucking road.
That's why he brought back Andy.
And Andy left, too. Andy came back with his tail between his legs.
Well, yeah, they were all sort of limping along. Andy didn't do well out on his own.
Right. If I was Conan, I'd blame Andy. I would just go, look, I was great without Andy. I brought him back in, and now I'm cursed. Get rid of Andy. Don't get rid of me. My low ratings are Andy.
Let me just get rid of Andy, and everything will be fine.
Hang Andy out to dry. That's what I would do. Well, the only card Conan can play, I mentioned this earlier, is to say, well, Jay's lead-in was so poor at 10 o'clock that he lost all my ratings for me.
So how do you give the show back to him? He's the one who killed me.
Yeah. Let's give the show to someone else. Let's give the show to the cast of Law and Order. They seem to be able to get a good lead-in. Because Conan can say, hey, my lead-ins were so bad with the news, that's his only saving grace. Then maybe he could tell Fox that.
And since Leno was really the reason the affiliates were bailing, it wasn't Conan. The affiliates were upset with Leno's performance. But Leno is getting a reward.
Right. Yeah, Conan's probably like, hey, Jay didn't do that well either.
He did worse.
Get rid of him.
Nobody's leaving because of me.
The news shows are usually the biggest money makers for local stations, and, of course, Jay had lost all the revenues for them, so...
And if Jay Leno leaves, does he still have to pay off his contract? And then he'll just get paid by another contract?
Jay doesn't care about being paid. I'm just a good guy. I just want to be on. I just enjoy it. I don't even want to make as much as Dave. You know what? It's called job security. Yeah, some job security. They fucking moved you out anyway, asshole. He's such an asshole. Even that whole thing about he doesn't want to get paid what he's worth. That's just a remark. That's a remark of an asshole. Yeah, I make enough. Yeah, what is this, communism? What do you mean? You're generating X millions of dollars and you just want a piece of it? What fucking person in their right mind wouldn't want to be paid more money?
Somehow you get some perverse pleasure about the number 2 guy making more than you.
I'm Amish. It's like you say, why wouldn't, if there's like radio and television, why wouldn't you want it? Like Amish people, they're like Jay Leno. Jay Leno's an Amish. I'm not kidding you.
It's enough. Books are enough.
Hey, I don't need soap and water. I don't need a washing machine. That's what Jay's saying. He's going, I don't need a washing machine. I'll just wash my clothes down by these rocks.
I'll beat my clothes on a rock.
Even that fucking dumb shit with those old cars. You could have any new car you want. You can drive around in a fucking buggy so everyone can see you.
I know. There's a couple of guys like that. We're just regular guys. We fix things.
We like old cars.
Except nobody but him can afford those cars.
Right. We do our own tune-ups.
Yeah, I'm into old cars, but meanwhile, the old cars cost more than the new cars.
Exactly, and he's got an entire staff to service those cars.
Right.
He's got these airplane hangars,
filled with cars.
With all these collectible cars.
And they probably have a special temperature and all of that stuff to make sure they run correctly and they're maintained.
I don't want any money. I don't need a washing machine.
I'm just working on my car.
I don't need a new car. My wife got sick. I put leeches on her.
I was reading a story about Harrison Ford in the paper yesterday because he's got some new movie coming out. And it was one of those things like, he took the guy on a helicopter ride because he's a helicopter pilot. But before he gets in the plane, he does the whole checkup on the instrumentation himself.
Yeah.
He doesn't let a mechanic do it.
Yeah, I know better than the mechanic.
Because he's just a regular guy.
I'm Harrison Ford. I like to get my hands full of grit. Yeah, everybody's such a regular guy. Guess what? You're not a regular guy if you know how to fly a helicopter.
And you own a helicopter.
Yeah. I own a helicopter. I'm just like you. I do my own work on my helicopter.
Oh, he's so down to earth. He does his own instrument.
Jay Leno. Yeah, I don't want more money. Well, why exactly? Why wouldn't you want more money? You're entitled to it. You're the #1 guy in late night.
Same deal. Every year, same deal.
Yeah, I'd make my own deal. I don't have an agent. I don't need an agent. No, you don't need it. Clearly you need an agent because your whole fucking career is fucked
look at
up.
what happened to you without an agent.
I don't need one.
Conan's agent went in there and got him your show.
Yeah. Conan's agent got him a deal where he owns The Tonight Show. I wouldn't mind an agent like that.
You can't even get the name of your show back.
Yeah. It's all right. They'll work it out. Doesn't matter. Sure it matters. Why wouldn't it matter to you? I mean, it's mind-boggling, the whole stupid thing. Big picture of Conan looking like a sad sack on the cover of the Post.
Oh.
Yeah, it's so great. I love it. Why do I love it so much?
You know, I like Conan.
I do,
don't
too.
feel good for what's happening.
Yeah, I feel horrible.
You know, he's a nice guy. I guess he's a nice guy.
I guess I'm just sick of people thinking that anybody can do this stuff, you know? Actually, they can, but these guys clearly can't.
They're not the guys who can.
Doesn't have a lot of time left.